realistic chance that you can't pay off all of your debts, then a debt relief order might be just a solution for you, because it also allows your debts to be written off by the end of it. Hi guys, welcome back to the Shackles of Debt. On this channel, I talk about money, I talk about debt, and I talk about financial literacy. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And you can also find links to everything, my Instagram and my blog and my podcast down in the description box below. Today we are talking about debt relief orders. I'm going to be explaining what a debt relief order is, how it works, the criteria you need to meet in order to be eligible for a debt relief order, and I'm also going to mention some of the pros and cons of using a debt relief order as a way to repay your debts. Now, I've mentioned in previous videos about several different ways in which you can become debt-free. However, if none of those methods are working for you, or if your financial circumstances are particularly dire and you're really running out of options, then an option for paying back your debts and getting your debts written off might be a debt relief order. So what is a debt relief order? A debt relief order is a debt repayment solution that will allow your debts to be written off at the end of it. It is mainly for people who realistically cannot even afford to pay back their debts, and it's also a low-cost alternative to something like bankruptcy. And it's also for people who have little to no assets. And how a debt relief order works is that it lasts for 12 months, and in that 12-month period, all of your debts are essentially frozen, and that is also called a moratorium period. Now, during this 12-month period, none of your creditors are allowed to ask you for money. So that means debt collection methods such as letters and telephone calls from creditors stop within that 12-month period. And also, your creditors are not allowed to ask you for payment in that 12-month period. And if they do ask you for money, then you can just always tell them that, oh, you're in a debt relief order and that you don't have to pay anything. Now, a massive condition of a debt relief order is that your financial circumstances do not change within that year. So if you remain with like a low income or like no income, or if the situation continues that you can't realistically pay off your debts, then the debt relief order is fine. However, if your financial circumstances improve, so let's say, for example, you are gifted a large sum of cash, or you receive like a significant pay rise at work, or you receive an inheritance, for example, then that affects your debt relief order, and that means that it can be cancelled, and they may then also ask you to use that money that you've received to pay back the debts. So when you're applying for one, you have to be absolutely confident that there is no way that your financial circumstances are going to change in the next 12 months. Now, a debt relief order is quite similar to bankruptcy in the sense that your name is placed on a public insolvency register. And this insolvency register basically contains the names of people who've been made insolvent by things like bankruptcy or a debt relief order or an IVA. And this register is public, so anyone can access it and anyone can look up your name and they can know that you are on a debt relief order. However, your name is removed 3 months after your debt relief order finishes, which means that your name will be on it for approximately 15 months. Although it is a legally binding agreement, you don't actually have to appear in court, and it costs £90 to apply for one. And if you are really struggling and if there is no way you can even get the £90, then you might be able to get a charity to help you pay the £90 fee so that you can set up the debt relief order. So once you've decided that a debt relief order is the solution for you, how do you then go about getting one, and what is the process of setting one up? Well, you can set one up through authorized debt advisors. So that's people like Step Change. They're able to set up debt relief orders for you. And once you have completed your application form and you have paid your £90 fee, then your file then goes to an insolvency practitioner. This person will look at all of your debts in detail. They will look at your financial circumstances, your bank statements, and they will look to see if you actually qualify for it. And if you do then qualify for it, and if it's approved, then what they will do is that they will contact all of your creditors on your behalf, and then they will tell them that you are on a debt relief order and that they can't take any debt collection methods against you over the next 12 months. Now, is a debt relief order right for you in the first place? Well, there are several criteria you need to meet in order to be eligible for one in the first place. So for starters, you must owe less than £30,000 or less in debt. So if you've got debts of like more than £30,000, then you wouldn't qualify for it. And this £30,000 fee is actually a new change. This was actually introduced back in 2021 because they realized realize that a lot of people are going to be in even more debt as a result of the pandemic. So they changed the criteria from having a cap of £20,000 to now £30,000. Secondly, you must have assets that are valued at less than £2,000. So the total sum of your assets mustn't exceed £2,000. The next criteria you need to meet is that you must have less than £100 left after all of your essential bills have been paid. So that means after you have paid your taxes, your gas, your water, your electricity, so basically all of the necessary things you need to live, you must have less than £100 of disposable income. If you have more than £100 of worth of disposable income after your essential bills, then you would not meet the criteria for a debt relief order. The next thing is that you mustn't owe a property or have a mortgage. You mustn't have had a debt relief order in the last 6 months, and you must live in England, Wales, or Northern Ireland. In addition, if you're already involved in some sort of insolvency process, such as bankruptcy or going through an IVA, then you will not be eligible to apply for a debt relief order. Now, what debts can be written off by a debt relief order? The criteria is a little bit strict actually, because it doesn't include every single piece of debt that you have. All the debts that are covered by a DRO include things such as your utilities, so that's your rent, water, electricity, unsecured loans, overdrafts, and credit cards. It also covers personal debts such as debts owed to family or friends. It covers things such as parking fines or overpayments from benefits. And the debts that are not covered by a debt relief order include anything to do with family court. So that's things like child maintenance payments, court fines, fines from drug offences, and also things like student loans, TV licenses, and any debts that are accumulated after the debt relief order has already been started. Also, it's really important for you to be aware how a debt relief order can affect your everyday, day-to-day financial life, because it does have some implications. So as I've already mentioned before, your name is on an insolvency register and anyone can look you up. Furthermore, you are not allowed to borrow more than £500 from anyone without disclosing the fact that you are on a debt relief order. And also, you can't work as the director of a company without getting permission from the court. And you also cannot go into business or start a business without disclosing to your business partners that you are on a debt relief order. And also, if you're applying for something such as an overdraft, then you must inform your bank that you're currently on a debt relief order. And even though the debt relief order only lasts for approximately a year, it does remain on your credit file for up to 6 years. And as a result, it adversely affects your credit. However, if you're at a point where you need to get a debt relief order in order to pay back your debts, then I think credit or access to credit should be the last thing that you should be worried about. Now, let me know what you think of debt relief orders. Have you been on one yourself? Do you know anyone that's gone through it? How's the process been like? And would you use a debt relief order as a way to have all of your debts written off after 12 months? Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.